Alright, Chapter 2000, Volume 4, Part 1, Chapter 2000, Electronic Federal Tax Collection, Chapter Guide with the Financial Institution Profit Federal Tax Collection, either the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System, Federal Tax Act Application, Section 210, the Treasury Financial bound with the financial institution except for the originating federal tax payment. Those institutions are bound with the applicable Federal Reserve Bank. Operating Circular of Supplemental Regulation, Title 31, Code of Regulations, Part 203. Users may access Volume 4 on the website Bureau of Official Services. Section 213, Title 31, CFR 203, governs the financial institution with the process of electronic federal tax payments. Section 2020, Terms of Definition. The terms of definition related with the Chapter C, Treasury Financial Manual Glossary. Section 2025, Electronic Federal Tax Paying System and the Federal Tax Application. Electronic Federal Tax Paying System and Federal Tax Application. Taxpayers report federal tax payment to the government using electronic reporting methods. Using these programs, and taxpayers may transfer payment debts, deposits using certain electronic funds, electronic fund transfer technologies. 2025-10 Role of Financial Institutions. Financial institutions have the integral role of the tax collection. The electronic federal tax payment system. Financial institutions choose the extent with which to serve the customer federal tax payment is needed. Financial institution may provide the following electronic service to meet the customer needs federal tax payment needs: receiving automatic clearinghouse debit entries, proposed entry for the customer account, originate automated clearinghouse credit entry for the direction customer with the treasury account, originate same-day payment for the transaction direction customer treasury account. For internal revenue service audit purpose, if the taxpayer may seek proof of the timely funds transfer, financial institution requests if the taxpayer of the financial institution must provide such transaction trace number to input message, accountable data number, and further assistant customer financial assistance should use the USA tax payment. Otherwise, clearly, electronic federal tax payment system, customer's account, activity statement. The electronic fund tax payment system functions. Electronic fund tax payment system does the following: receive, verify, validated taxpayer enrollment data, operates automated clearinghouse debit reporting mechanism, provide software bulk batch provided software bulk provided files, provide taxpayer with the electronic fund transfer number to identify with the payment record of the electronic federal tax payment system, signs electronic fund tax signs assigns identify the payment electronic fund electronic federal tax paying system originates to delivers the automatic clearinghouse debit file with the automatic clearing operator receives same day in February federal tax application. Receives automated clearinghouse credit file from the ACH. Osprey validates tax payment. The detailed information transmitted to the IRS. Bills reconcile with the electronic federal tax payment system transactions. Record respond taxpayer financial institutions questions through electronic federal tax paying system. Customer service center. Federal tax application functions. Federal tax application provides same-day payment mechanism for the works in conjunction with the electronic federal tax paying system. Federal tax application use the federal wire fund transfer same system same-day payments. Federal tax application does the following: validates tax payment information transmitted to the IRS electronic federal tax payment system, signs out electric funding transfer number of the accepted transaction balances, reconcile transition action received, responds to IRS financial institution depository taxpayer inquiries regarding same day transactions through the federal tax application customer service unit. 2030 Electronic Federal Tax Payment System Enrollment. Profit the Treasury require that all electronic federal tax paying system taxpayers enroll electronic federal tax paying system before making the electronic federal payment to the automated clearinghouse debit occur. The taxpayer chain with the financial institution chain with their account within the institution may edit banking information. Electronic federal tax paying system accomplished by the touch phone or online. Enrollment for availability. Taxpayers may obtain with enrollment by calling 1-800-TAX-FORM or by enrolling online. 20-30-20 Financial Institution Enrollment Responsibility. At the request of the taxpayer, the selected automatic clearinghouse debt funds should be transferred. The financial institution must verify the accuracy of the financial institution routing transit number and the taxpayer account number and account type is indicated on the enrollment form. The taxpayers must ensure the completed enrollment form of the electronic federal tax paying system and enrollment processing center. Financial institution may offer the delivery service customer. 20-35 Condition of the making of the payment. Financial institution makes establish conditions for the taxpayer so it may satisfy before it will affect the electronic transaction. For the example, the financial institution may specify a cutoff time receipt for the customer federal tax payment instructions. Conditions of the satisfied federal instruction may return automatic clearinghouse debited entry with the reused original automatic clearinghouse credit with entry same day tax payment. 10-20-35 RIF. The operating RIF financial institution processes payment that deposit automatic clearinghouse credit same day with the payment of the deposit. For example, the Treasury may assess financial institution interest in the incorrect automatic clearinghouse credit entry same day payment. This financial institution does not encounter these risks. Automatic clearinghouse debit transaction. Financial institution should establish guidelines consistent with level of risk willingness. So, guidelines. Financial institution should publish, otherwise make it available to customers. Guidelines that will originate automatic clearinghouse credits are someday in federal tax payment. At minimum, these guidelines should identify the following: how taxpayers should deliver the federal tax payment instruction. Financial institution process. When taxpayers must deliver the federal tax payment instructions. Daily cutoff times. How and when the financial institution will notify the customer of success or failure with the transaction. How and where the financial institution will deliver automatic clearinghouse transaction trains number, electronic federal tax paying system and electronic fund transfer reference number, FedWire IMAD number to the customer. Section 2040 electronic fund federal electronic future day federal tax payment mechanism and automatic clearinghouse debit automatic clearinghouse credit. Electronic federal tax paying system supports the two future day payment mechanisms: automatic clearinghouse debit, automatic clearinghouse credit. Any financial institution capable of operating and receiving the automatic clearinghouse transactions itself throughout the correspondent may offer the service to tax-paying customers. Alright, the automatic clearinghouse debt payment with the taxpayers. The taxpayer agent report of the federal tax payment information. Electronic federal tax paying system uses one available electronic federal tax paying system. Report method: electronic federal tax paying system conducts online real-time editing validation federal tax payment information. It issues the taxpayer an acknowledgement of electronic fund transfer number to comply from timely deposit reports. Electronic federal tax paying system originates automatic clearinghouse debit entry the taxpayer accounts 1 business day after the settlement is designated by the taxpayer. 2010 RDFI responsibility. RDFI does the following: validates automatic clearinghouse entries, returns unpostable entry the timely manner, or originates NOC entry for the timely manner appropriate. The RDFI uses the NOC with the merger result and change of the financial institute, the routing tracing number, other customer account number for the type account. Automated clearinghouse debt through the electronic federal tax paying system offers taxpayers warehouse capabilities. Warehouse provides taxpayers with the ability to assume the amount to know the feature of the deposit, payment settlement with the due date, future elements of the tax burden, with remember for the initiated deposit 1 business day before tax due date. If using warehouse capability back, business taxpayers may schedule a future date settlement up to 120 calendar days in advance. An individual taxpayer may schedule future date settlement up to 365 days in advance. Taxpayers are encouraged to use warehousing capable electronic fund tax paying system whenever possible. Alright, 2040-10B, automated clearinghouse debit correction consistent with the standard of the automatic clearinghouse rules and guidelines. Electronic federal paying system and the RDFIs make for the following action: the return of the any RDFI may return automatic clearinghouse debt entry for the and it must originate with return timely manner, indicate with appropriate reason for the code. return reason code. Dishonor returns electronic federal tax banks. If the made dishonor return entry is contested dishonor returns, the RDFI may originate contested dishonor return entries. 2040-10C tax payment identification. RDFI should identify the federal tax payment on the customer statement. For example, the RDFI may use the term U.S. tax payment available to field 7 company entry the description field of the automatic clearinghouse company batch header record. 2040-20 automatic clearinghouse credit. Automatic clearinghouse credit payment to taxpayers financial institute originate automatic credit automatic clearinghouse credit entry of the Treasury action of the Federal Reserve Bank. Automatic clearinghouse credit addenda record contains federal tax payment detail. Federal Reserve Bank transmit power payment to detail of the electronic fund tax paying system for validation transmission to the IRS. Alright, 2040-20A, automatic credit clearinghouse credit pre-notification process. During the automatic clearinghouse credit pre-notification process, sure the guidance provided below is followed. $0 entry tax pay with the addendum of the record, pre-notification entry for the tax TXP addendum record at the taxpayer's request. Financial institution originates either a $0 with a TXP addendum record, but at least 2 business years prior to the live automatic clearinghouse credit entry or pre-notification entry for the TXP addendum of the Treasury account at least 6 business days prior to the origination of first live automatic clearinghouse credit entry. The electronic federal tax paying system account includes the RDFI Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta, the RTN and account number and account name Treasury General Account. A return on $0 pre-notification entry. Electronic federal tax-paying system view with all $0 pre-notification entry for the concerned and incorrect taxpayer information, or if the taxpayer does not enroll in the electronic federal tax-paying system, the electronic federal tax-paying system returns the entry to the ODFI. The electronic federal tax-paying system must return the $0 entry that is available for the ODFI, but no later than opening business on the second business day following with the settlement date. Original $0 entry. Electronic federal tax-paying system must return the pre-notification entry available to the ODFI no later than opening business on the 6th business day following the settlement day of the original pre-notification entry. Taxpayer financial institution carefully review and make and insert the conditions, direction, and information before the originating of $0 pre-notification. Financial institution may contact electronic federal tax-paying system TFA helpline. Absence electronic federal tax-paying system helpline number financial institution 1-800-605-9876. Failure to originate $0 pre-notification entry. Treasury may assess the interest of the financial institution that fails to originate $0 pre-notification entry taxpayer request, causing a future automatic clearinghouse credit entry to be returned for Section 2050 for the interest calculation information. The ODFI responsibly originate with the electronic federal tax paying system automatic clearinghouse credit. ODFI must originate automatic clearinghouse credit entries at least 1 business day prior to the day of the taxpayer required for the payments settlement. Originates payment using cash concentration disbursement automatic clearinghouse format. The TXP addendum record bank conversions appropriate treasury routing tracing number accounting number taxpayer identification. ODFI should identify federal tax payment at a customer statement. For example, the ODFI may use the USA tax payment available to 7 field 7 of the automatic clearinghouse company batch header records. Automatic clearinghouse credit correction consists of the automatic clearinghouse rules and guidelines following with the automatic clearinghouse credit correction permitted reversal. ODFI may initiate automatic clearinghouse credit reversal, duplicated awareness, file entry reversal, federal tax payment subject to taxpayer IRS late payment penalty of the ODFI should use the caution process when reversal of the federal tax payment that does not need the IRS approval prior to operating automatic clearinghouse credit reversal. Returns the electronic federal taxpayer system returns automatic credit automatic clearinghouse and credit entry that is unable to identify with the NE entry of the federal tax paying with the tax identification number is invalid. Financial institution must notify the customer in a timely manner valid the transaction. Dishonor returns the ODFI and dishonor and automatic clearinghouse credit return. Contested dishonor reports returns electronic federal tax paying system may contest dishonor return. Notification chains electronic federal tax paying may originate NOC entries when needed. Section 2045 of Electronic Same-Day Federal Tax Payment Mechanism. The Federal Tax Paying Application provides electronic same-day payment at the top of the payment of the federal tax wire the value Transfer of the FedWire application performed with the screen of the entering taxpayer of the detailed Viva Fedline Advantage containing bill within the edit of the tax information financial institution may obtain with the tax detailed information on format, reversal, perceived adjustment, interface within the investment programs of federal tax application customer service unit. 10/20/45/10 deadline transmission same day federal tax payment. The financial institution must send same day federal tax payment. The federal tax application received no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Federal tax application. The federal tax application may return deposit after 5 p.m. to the originator. Taxpayer financial institution may be assessed a late fee with return payments as a result of the tax payment not paid in a timely manner. 2045-20 FedWire value the transfer settlement with the FedWire tax payment settle immediately with the FedWire system. Debt for the financial institution reverse account with the credit treasury account with the day of the transfer. 2045-30 FedWire value transfer format. FedWire value tax payment either specifically format of the customer transfer product code referred to financial institute handback or contact federal tax application customer service unit 1-800-382-0045. Or 2045-40 correction of the erroneous entry before 5 p.m. with the cutoff of the settlement date. Financial interest. Financial institutions may correct the erroneous same day with the federal tax payment, reversing an entire erroneous transaction. If applicable, the initiated corrected transaction before 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the settlement day, financial institution should send FedWire request reversal to the request of federal tax application return. The erroneous FedWire reversal must be for a total dollar amount original transaction. Contact federal tax application customer unit or refer to financial institution handbook for additional information. Financial institution requests the reversal of the FedWire transfer before 5 p.m. and institution standard cutoff. Federal tax application will return funds that originate institution. Applicable financial institution shall initiate corrected FedWire value payment before 5 p.m. Eastern Standard cutoff time. Financial institution can reverse transaction of the 5 business days following the day of the original transaction. Financial institution should be sent by FedWire required reversal prior to date transfer. Reversal request beyond 5 business days should be made to the IRS. Alright, 2045-45 correction error if after entry after 5 p.m. on the settlement day. Financial input direct request adjustment made with the same day before, but after 5 p.m. the Eastern Time cut off the federal tax application customer support unit number as soon as possible should provide explanation for the error and request adjustment. 2045-50 rejection same day federal tax payment. The federal tax application may reject same day federal tax payment as following reason. Payment is initiated after 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Payment does not conform with the IRS edit with format requirements. The IRS may return same day federal tax payment because of the overpayment. Financial institution must notify the customer in a timely manner of the rejection, reversal of the result of the deposit payment, not settling taxpayer request settlement date. Alright, 2050 interest assessment improper processing electronic federal tax payment computation basis penalty improper position electronic fund transfer. Treasury may charge financial institution value delayed federal tax payment that may assess the charge of the taxpayer financial institution condition with the electronic federal tax payment system dispositive May payment and or financial institution fails to process the payment proper the true that Treasury assesses the interest for the day of the federal tax payment should be have the settled in the Treasury general account the day of the penalty payment action with the Treasury general account. Treasury assesses the final institution interest of the recoup the earnings values fund loss and compute for the penalty for the interest per factor for the penalty electronic fund transfer electronic fund tax payment system. Treasury assets interest for the day of taxpayers specified settlement of the Treasury unit until the receipt with the paid Treasury determined that the interest of the multiplying 2 day total delay 1 day fund the delay interest rates factor penalties the delay daily interest rate factor for the penalty Federal Reserve Fund daily effect of the rate minus 25 base points if subtraction 25 base points Federal Reserve Funds daily effect of the rate result of the negative rate penalty rate will be 0. Treasury will debit the financial institution reserve account or the account of the designated corresponding for the amount of the penalty. Alright, 2050-20 financial institution limitation liability. Financial institution liability suspect with the following limitation. Interest limited to more than 7 calendar days. Automatic clearinghouse debit the transaction. Interest limited for the 45 calendars. Automatic clearinghouse debit in the same day transaction. Limit and liability apply with any of the interest assessment in which the authorized indicate fraud, payment, presentment of the false claim, misrepresentation, embezzlement of the part of the financial institution or any other employees or agency. 205030 unauthorized automatic clearinghouse entry for the Treasury General account. A financial institution may not originate automatic clearinghouse entry for the result of the unauthorized debit to the Treasury General account. 205040 computation-based charge for the unauthorized automatic clearinghouse entry for the Treasury General account. Financial institution originated the authorized automatic clearinghouse entry for the debit of the Treasury General account is liable for the amount of the transaction charged for the Treasury and determine the interest rate charged for the multiplying amount of the unauthorized entry for the entry each calendar day. Daily interest factor defined in subsection 205010 calculates the interest charged for the date of the Treasury General account was debited for the date of the Treasury General account was credited. According to Title 31 CFR 210.8B1, Federal Government Participation Automatic Clearinghouse, there is no limitation on liability, either time and amount, for the authorized automatic clearinghouse entry Treasury General amount. This does not preclude any other sanction. Treasury will debit the financial institution receive reserve account for the account designated correspond with the amount of this charge. Or 2050 appeal for the process for the penalties. Financial institution may appeal for any penalty charged imposed under Section 2050 by contacting official for the services, officials for the tax collection division. Director officials for the tax collection division will leave the decision on appeals via the email post mail within 45 calendar days. Notification director, however, may unilaterally extend the deadline for issuing decision, providing financial institution written notice of the extension included the anticipated final ruling date. Director's decision, whether issued by the 45-day time frame or end of the extension period, is final. It's over. And if over the recovery under recovery assessment of the charge occurred, the Treasury will reimburse the financial institution by instructing Federal Reserve Bank to credit and debit the reserve and clearing account of the financial institution or the account is designated correspondent as appropriate, and your contacts will be the Department of Treasury Bureau Official Services Tax Collection Division. That's Chapter 2000 of Part 1, Volume 4.